In 2015, folk rock legends Mumford & Sons shocked the world with the release of their third album, Wilder Mind. This album was much more experimental in nature and moved closer towards indie rock. Despite its mixed critical reception, it still was a commercial success. But the band wasn't interested in catering the wants of all of their fans. For their next record, they continued down the path of experimental indie rock and electronica instead of the time-tested folk genre. So welcome back to reviewing an album every day, because today we're taking a look at Delta, Mumford & Sons' 2018 release. But before getting into my more nuanced opinions, here's my track-by-track rating for each song on the album. It's also important to note that this album was the last album with banjoist and lead guitarist Winston Marshall. However, this album doesn't feature nearly as many banjos. In fact, in 2014, Winston Marshall went on record saying that he hates the banjo. He also said that the band was breaking up and that he hates jazz as an art form, but that's besides the point. He just really likes to say things, a lot of which are unpopular. And speaking of unpopular, Delta is probably one of the least popular albums in their catalog. Many critics critiqued the length of Delta as being too long, 14 tracks and upwards of an hour of music. But this album is also much more diverse musically. For example, one of their singles, Woman, is an indie R&B vibe that I really do enjoy. The song also allows Marcus's vocals to come through a lot more clearly. And overall, its lyricism is very good, just like a lot of this album. Another one of the singles, Beloved, is more of a folksy ballad about death. This is where we can see a lot of experimentation with the band, who are dipping their toes into Americana with this song. But if we're talking about experimentation here, I think Darkness Visible is one that we have to mention. The song, which is 3 minutes long, is mostly instrumental, however also includes passages from the book Paradise Lost. It's a super unique concept, and it does really work. It makes for a very nice sort of interlude to the album. But before we continue, make sure to comment down below what album you think I should review next, and subscribe so you never miss a daily upload. Now, personally, I still do think that this album is the weakest of the first four that they put out. However, it's still very refined and carries a lot of the complexities and interesting parts from their previous album, Wilder Mind. I think that it does really prove that the band isn't only confined to folk rock and has the range for other things, whether it be indie or even some electronic influences. I do agree a bit with critics here that the album can drag on a bit. Many songs are upwards of 4 or 5 minutes, and for some of the less interesting tracks, it can just really make them feel like a slog. However, there's really no bad songs on here. So in my book, Delta scores an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching, I'll see you tomorrow, and remember, positivity is free.